Yo, this is Boy in Space, and I've been hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live. Check it out. It was a blast. I have Roscoe syrup on my shirt, and I have jet lag brain.
I listened to your song maybe like last year.
Yeah.
To your music, and the thing that got my attention like instantly was your storytelling. Something that's
Really?
very, very different.
Cool, thank you.
And like, obviously your storytelling comes with the way you kind of deliver the lyrics.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like that writing process for you, and how do you really come up with these stories? Because it's not songs anymore. Like I'm actually listening to your music, and I envision what you're talking about, and I feel like that's
Yeah.
really rare today.
I don't know. I think I realized after writing a lot of music throughout my life, it just helps when you try to like paint really strong and like emotional pictures. And I do love film as well. So like sometimes I'll try to like paint like a scene out of a movie or something. And just like things that you can like just picture so easily.
Right.
Like some words just don't form a picture.
Right.
And some words do. Like you'll mention like a table or something, or like
Yeah.
a car, or like whatever, a love letter or something that's real and physical that you can kind of imagine in your head.
Right.
That just paints a picture. Yeah.
And it's cool because I feel like a lot of people try to put in so many metaphors in a song, and sometimes it like overdoes it. I don't feel like you even used many metaphors. You were just naturally talking to your audience.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I rarely use metaphors. I'm trying to think if I have a metaphor. I don't know. I guess cold is a metaphor a little bit, because it's like,
True.
yeah, because it's, I'm not talking about that it's actually cold.
Right.
It's more like, yeah, her being cold and
Yeah.
then just like dealing with it. And yeah, I don't know.
But like the other thing, since you mentioned cold, we'll jump right into it. Is like you have this tendency of singing a track in such a low voice and then jumping up to the falsetto like nothing. Like there's no transition. It's just you go from one to the other, and then
Yeah.
you stay in that falsetto for quite some time throughout the
Yeah.
track. Like how did you learn to sing that the way that you do?
I don't know. I was like a huge Justin Bieber fan throughout my like teenage years. So I used to like sing Justin Bieber songs. And when I was a kid, there was a. Did you have that game called SingStar on
No.
PlayStation 2?
No.
It's like a karaoke game, and you would sing, and it would like hit the notes. And I used to sing the Jackson 5,
Okay.
Want You Back.
Okay.
I'm taking me for a chance. But like in the original key. So it's like, oh, da. So yeah. I guess that's how it worked, kind of.
I was actually thinking more Bee Gees. Like maybe you practice with some Bee Gees. I don't know.
I didn't. Sorry, it's Justin Bieber and Jackson 5.
So, talk to me about your latest single, On a Prayer.
Yeah.
You have Shy Martin featured on this as well, another artist from back home. So, talk to me about the creative process with this song, and what was it about bringing her, what was it about her voice that you wanted to bring her into this song?
I think, so I'll start with the first question about how we made the song. So I work a lot with the same producer that she works with, Freddie Hegstam, also Freddie Death. And yeah, we wrote that song as a duet with another friend of mine called Philip Tillström, and we just wrote it as a duet, and then I could just hear her vocals on it, because I think they're like very emotional all the time. She's like in that, I don't know, I like artists it just sounds real, and it just sounds so like she means what she sings,
Right.
basically. So I wanted to get that into the song, and then I was like, hey Freddie, could we make that happen? And he was like, let me see. And then she wanted to be on the song, so that was really
Nice.
cool. Yeah.
So you were already a fan of hers.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Been listening to a lot of her songs.
So did you guys get to go into the studio together and kind of work on the song?
We actually didn't, which is so weird. We've worked together before, like written music together, but that time it was more like, okay, here's the song, like just like feel free to write your own verse and like change it up and do what you want to do. And so she did. And I felt like I didn't need to be there for that.
Right.
It would just be unnecessary. Because, yeah, she writes really well on her own as well, which I feel like, I kind of do. We're kind of similar in that aspect.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you've written with her before in the past. So do you write for other artists as well? Like, do you spend a lot of time doing that kind of stuff?
Not really. Not a lot. I don't know. I have a hard time concentrating writing to other people. I lose interest really fast. because it's, I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't done it in the right way. I feel like whenever I write for other people, it's like, let's try to get a smash song in this type of lane, and then all of a sudden it becomes so boring because you're like you're confined to all this little small creative bubble of what you need to do, which kind of sucks sometimes because you just want to be free. You just want to make a song and like feel free to sing whatever melody comes to your mind and.
Kind of kills the creativity.
A little bit, but maybe I just need to find another way to do it. Yeah. Maybe if I just write and then can place it later to another artist or whatever, that might be a better idea.
So as you work on your music, which, you know, it's cool that you have so much attention on Spotify, and, you know, there's so many listeners with your music, but it's like, it's cool that you don't have that much out. Like, it's not like you have a record and EPs and stuff out like that. So what do you think it was about your music that really generated to all these, like, to these music fans?
I don't know. I'm trying to make like really strong pop melodies and then also make it interesting, because I feel like a lot of people make the strong pop melodies, but the rest of it is just kind of like boring. So
that's where all the metaphors come in.
I'm not a hater, but but that's just my opinion, and my opinion doesn't matter at all. But anyway, so I just wanted to make it like a cool like space around the song as well. So like very atmospherical, and like with the lyrics just quite dramatical, and just captivate the audience in that way. It's almost like theater. You just gotta overdo it a little bit.
And as I mentioned earlier, that, you know, I instantly kind of like envisioned everything you were talking about. You're basically opening up to the world from the beginning. You've been telling your story and, you know, opening up to the audience. Like, how did you, was that something that you kind of had to learn to be okay with, like, opening up to new listeners?
No, I'm not very like, I'm not super specific about like all the moments. It's more like kind of vague things. So it's not like super personal. Like some songs are, but I'm not like telling people basically what it's about, like always 100%, because it's like personal stuff. Like it's for me to know only.
So what's that like? How do you balance that? How are you able to give them just enough, but at the same time still keep your personal life like to yourself?
I think that's in the writing process, because when I write, I tend to not go super specific about my life. I do draw emotions from my own life and like things that I've gone through, or like just things in my life, and I draw that energy, but then kind of create this. I feel like filmmakers do the same thing. They need to draw the energy from something and something painful in their lives, and then they kind of like, I don't know, I could just be talking a lot of bullshit right now, but I feel like that's what I do anyways. I draw the emotions from something real, then kind of like create this like fictional world of that same energy. So that's why it still feels real, is because it's from a real place, but it's manifested in another world, I guess.
You're taking us to new dimensions right now. So you've mentioned before, like, Drown is your most personal song. So, you know, how different was writing this song since you kind of opened up more on this record?
I don't know. It was actually quite easy writing the song, because I felt the song so much. So it was almost like I just started to sing, and then it kind of fell into my lap, and then I had it, and then I was like, cool, this is sweet. Thank you. Whoever did this, might have been me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah. I don't know. I just watched the thing that triggered me to write the song was like, have you seen Friends before? Yeah. The episode where Ross and Rachel break up and they have like the huge argument, like we're on a break and everything like that. Yeah, it just tore my heart up, and I was like, and that started like some real emotions that I had on my inside, and like from something I went through, and so it kind of like became something real in the end, and it's actually about something very real. Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Like, it's cool when I hear like artists mention like how songs kind of like kickstarted for them. Like, what would you say was like the most unique? Which song do you feel like came to you like in the most unique way? Was it that one?
That one and Cold, I would say, because when I made Cold, I really didn't. I don't know. I actually had a cold, which is quite funny. It's not that funny, but it's weird. And I still went into the studio because I hadn't been there for like quite a while. And Unheard, who produced the song, he had sent me the beat, and I was like not in the mood of writing a song, but I kind of forced myself to do it. And I was in the room and I played it, and I was like, this is actually kind of dope. And then I started writing it, and it just happened so quickly and naturally. And yeah, I didn't think it would. Sorry, there was a fly or something, mosquito. I didn't think it would be that easy to write that song, because when I went into the studio, I didn't even want to be there. But then it just happened so naturally, and I love that song a lot. Yeah.
How do you motivate yourself in situations like that?
It's hard to, like, that's the thing people don't see about the music industry. Like, you don't have a, like, boss. Like, you don't have you're not employed by anyone. So you're basically this kid who's, like, allowed to do anything. So you kind of have to, like, force yourself to, like, okay, Robin, stay focused. Like, the end goal is, like, make as much music as possible. You could play Battlefield 5 for 3 days in a row, but it's probably a good idea if you go to the studio and write a song as well. Yeah.
So you mentioned Unheard as he was one of the producers,
Yeah.
or he was the producer for Cold. You've worked with him various times before.
Yeah.
What is it about him and like the chemistry that the two of you guys have in the studio?
I don't know, other than the fact that we're Swedish, I think it's just, he's like a really chill dude. And I love that I use the word dude. He's a really chill guy, and I don't know, I think we have a really good combination of personalities in the studio. Because I really like to be, I like to be able to do what I want to do. And like I don't want the two things to interfere too much. Because I feel like we both kind of have our vision, and like, yeah. So when we write, it's quite simple. Like I'll be like, do you like this? And he'll be like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, good. And then we just kind of continue. There's no like, I want to do this. Like, there's not, no problems. It just flows really well. Yeah.
And what is the vision of Boy in Space? Like, what is the idea of this project? Like, why did you want to create it in the first place?
Boy in Space, the whole vision for Boy in Space is basically just being able to do whatever I want to do, I guess. Okay. Like, make the music I want to make and do, like, the music videos that I want to make. And, creatively being free without any shackles, and be able to do my pop, but, like, in different, like, ways and, like, interesting ways, I guess. Yeah, I think that's the vision. Just make music that I love. Yeah.
So as you mentioned, like being creative the way that you want to. On a Prayer, the video for it kind of came out on a whim. As you were here in LA. Yeah. So what kind of inspired that track to like make you want to create the video that you did?
I think, I don't know, I saw the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie like 4 times in a row before we did that music video. So I was like, okay, we need to have this kind of like,
that was your research.
Yeah, I was like 70s look. And then we were like, let's just run and gun and like have a good time, and try to make it like fun and like a lot of things happening. And so there's like a lot of action movement shots that we just got like on an 8mm. So just keep it natural and fun, and I guess like energetic as the song is.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you just had your LA debut
a
couple nights ago. You got to do School Night at Bardot, which is like my favorite place to like discover new artists. How did you feel about that vibe and that crowd, and like how did you feel about that performance?
It's cool. Like, it's different because there's like a lot of industry people there. So they're like watching you, judging you a little bit. But it was good vibe. I still had like fans and people that listen to my music there. So shout out to those people.
That's awesome. And you just wrapped up a tour in Europe with Alec Benjamin, another artist that like his lyricism is just incredible as well. Like, what was that tour like with you? And what did you learn from being on tour with him?
What did I learn? I don't know. It's hard to be specific about one thing. I think there's so much to learn, and I don't know. Always bring an extra plastic bag, because you're gonna get like dirty laundry, and you need to put them in that extra bag so it doesn't stink up the whole suitcase.
You might spill syrup on your shirt.
Like I just did at Roscoe's. Oh my God. I've been exposed. Bring an extra plastic bag, and yeah, try to have like a positive mindset on everything and just wake up every day and be like, this is cool. This is like a blessing. And yeah, have a good time as well.
Yeah.
Don't get too caught up in the whole work thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And literally like when you're in a town, try to do something in that town and see like see the place. If you have time,
Right.
of course.
Right.
Sometimes you don't, but sometimes you're inside of a venue,
just
like
stuck all day.
in like a basement for the whole day. And yeah, that's fun as well.
The joy of tours, man.
Yeah, the joy of life on tour.
So what's next for you now that, you know, On a Prayer is out, the video's out now? What can fans expect? EP, album in the works? Like, what are you working on?
Working on an EP and just releasing a lot more music. Being like, I want to explore, like, yeah, be more creative and like take out the turns a little bit more and just be more, yeah, expressive when it comes to like, the design of everything and just like the music videos. Want to make it a little bit more boy and spacey. So keep your eyes open for that.
Awesome, dude. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. You guys be sure to check out Boy in Space. New single On a Prayer is out now featuring
Shy Martin.
Hey, thanks for watching our Front Row Live.